Welcome, beautiful souls. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do a timeless reading for the collective. I hope you're doing well. I thank you for being present with me in this reading and lending your energy. So let's get started with the first cards that I have already pulled, and I'll clarify with some more. But I started with the Crystal Spirit Oracle for the blue lace agate. It's a beautiful resonance with the throat chakra, and that energy is resonating for many of you at this very clear crystalline color, which is an indication that your truth is coming clearly for you. You are purifying in some way. You're opening up your chakra so that what has stayed silent within you, what has remained close to your chest, is now finding an expression. Doesn't necessarily mean the expression is words. And that is one of the things that is a little bit nuanced with the energy of Mercury, which I believe is coming out of its shadow period after retrograde, still in Cancer. So there are a lot of emotions that we are experiencing and finding words difficult to put to those experiences. Many of these emotions are new, and we have a new vantage perspective on these experiences. And so we're not even sure how to name what we're experiencing in the moment. But this also is talking a little bit about the clarity with which you are feeling your truth. So I think this is a kind of incoming energy for a lot of you that is the result of some deep shadow work that you've been doing for a while. You've been doing the work. And there's, for many of you, this idea that seeing things so clearly from this rather detached vantage, which allows you to apply your best thinking, your rationale, your logic to a situation without eliminating, ignoring, or dismissing the powerful emotions that are stirred up, that you are sorting through. There's a recognition that you have perhaps missed an opportunity in the past. As you're reviewing the past quite a lot, the past is still with you. It's something that you are continually healing from and reimagining at this time, which I think is part of the creative, powerful, even playful energy that many of you are experiencing. This release of imagination, creative energy is something that is informing the way that you are gaining perspective, resorting through what you've learned from your past experiences, seeing it in a new light. Excuse me. I just came in from the garden and I think I was nipping on some little tomato candies, I call them. So there's something about the sweetness in small things that we can admire for their beauty, their vitality, certainly all the ways that you are allowing yourself to be informed by the natural world. So I also pulled from the Soul's Journey the self-esteem card, because I think this is kind of grounding us in what we're actually working on. The degree to which we believe we have mastered a variety of lessons and experiences, and that we know our value, we stand by our value. But actually, I think many of you are finding in your review of past experiences this idea that your self-esteem, Your sense of worthiness may not be as strong, as vital, as grounded, as relevant, or certainly in the past as you believed it was. That there's really a lot more work that you now see you can do in terms of recognizing your value, your worth, and setting that as a standard by which you interact, participate in the collective, in your relationships, in opportunities that are presenting themselves to you. Things must match you now rather than you fitting yourself to match those experiences. So I did pull a few cards and I'm just going to look at the cut. So I've cut this deck and I pulled the Hermit. And this is again talking about, I think, the desire for many of us to seize the moment that we're in. And this moment is space. It's silence. It's a pause. And some of this is energy that the eclipse, Lion's Gate, the new moon is generating for us. This is the new moon in Leo upcoming that's generating this desire to really sink into our hearts, our courage, who we are, what we're willing to stand up for, what we're willing to show up for. And this is ushering us into a time of visibility. And for some of us, this is, we think we're out there in the world, we think we're visible, but we've actually been using a lot of this particular time on our healing journeys to be within, to go within, to find answers within, to pull back, to retreat from the external world of our affairs. And I'm feeling a sense of exhaustion in terms of mounting the same old routines and tasks in the same old ways. There's a real awareness and consciousness that you are worn out, bored even by the routine, the obligations, the to-do list that follows you around wherever you go. And there's a sense of fatigue when you think about approaching the same old tasks, mounting the regular, usual, business as usual routines that you feel are necessary for a variety of reasons. Like we all have bills to pay, we all have things we want to do. And so in order to accomplish that, we have to go about tasks in ways that we are representative or reflective of patterns from our past, patterns that perhaps were in place as part of our coming of age, our formation, our identity formation, our cultural alliance, our heritage, our ancestral past that really are brought us here, but don't no longer apply to who we are as we are individuating, right? We're all here to be who we are, not who someone else wants us to be or who someone else imagined we would be. So this is a huge transition. And part of what the energy is calling for you is to be present in this transition, be in this moment of soul searching, of looking for the answers internally. This is productive energy. This is an opportunity to listen to your own sound, to your own colors, to your own story. How are you telling that story? And very aware that you're in a major transition that is being mirrored in our world. In the past, the Judgment card. This is the beautiful card that signals that we have already chosen to respond to our call, our purpose. So there's this clarification that you are uh, mounting in your own personal space that allows you to connect better with your spirit guides, with spirit, however you see that, however you understand that energy to be. You are allowing spirit to connect with you. You're allowing yourself to be with spirit. You're connecting with guides from former lives, from current lives. You are participating in choices that you made when you came to here to do what it is you want to do. But this is another opportunity at a time when you are recognizing that you can have possibly missed opportunities in your life. And this is really a negative reflection, really, on our sense of self-esteem, that any opportunity we missed was probably or possibly not an opportunity for us. And if it is for us, it will come around again. But Spirit is clearly indicating that there is something better for you. In recognizing that missed opportunity, there is definitely something better for you that you are consciously preparing yourself for. You were not ready in the past. You were not as aware of the energies at your command in a way that you are now. In the present moment, the Ten of Wands talks about this exhaustion, this feeling of tiredness, this feeling of fatigue that plagues you as you think not only about the routine that is well established in your life, the list of things you have to do in order to sustain your life, sustain your lifestyle, and as well the sense that these routines are not authentic to you anymore, but you haven't done anything else. And this speaks to carrying the burdens, taking the responsibilities on. You are sovereign. You are aware that you create your reality by the responsibilities and obligations you recognize as your part in anything that you participate in. But reviewing your willingness to do that in the past for many obligations, responsibilities, and connections that were not yours, that you carried for others. This is part of the fatigue that your body is asking you to release. And that asking comes in the form of a lot of sleep. Some of you are sleeping or desiring sleep in all kinds of new ways and finding lots of nourishment in your sleep. Lots of surprising connections and revelations, dreams, information coming to you through that desire, ability to rest, to relax. This is another key to healing the sense of overwhelm, overdoing, overacting. And of course, the future holds the Fool energy. This is the divine inner child, the divine child. This is the energy of starting fresh, of releasing the concern with what others think, releasing the concern with what others know or project on you regarding what you should be doing. There's never any lack of those. And your faith in yourself, that you have done so much, that you have gained so much courage, so many skills, so much stamina, so much clarity about your value, your gifts that benefit you, but definitely benefit other people. And that is helping you to take a risk, take a leap, do something different, be more playful, be lighter, allow yourself to release all the things that tell you what your responsibilities should be. I think for most of you that I'm speaking to, you're pretty adult. You've adulted, and you understand the difference between what you have to do and what you need to do. And I think the sense of faith within yourself, the sense of giftedness, and the desire to be visible, to contribute, to find your tribe, to find your audience. This is really a motivating factor for you to strike out into the unknown. And this, in many ways, is the thrilling destination that you are coming to. So I'm going to clarify with an Egyptian deck. I'm going to clarify with the Chariot and the Ten of Cups, the Judgment. Wow. I love this because the Judgment card always speaks to me about our purpose, our mission, and the Chariot and the Ten of Cups is talking about your place in the world, your place in the hearts of others, the loving community that you are fearlessly pushing forward towards. This is a chosen family. This is a family based on alliance with or alignment with spiritual values, a better world, a more abundant world, a world that is abundant enough to actually take care of the needs of others in a way that frees others up to be creative about what they have and how it can be best shared. And that is best shared in community. That is where you see your contribution most effectively implemented, utilized. But the Chariot is telling me that you have moved out of your comfort zone with the clarity of your purpose and mission. The clarity of what you see as possible is moving you forward, pushing you into a direction that helps you to clear away all the distractions. And that's important because able-bodied you have been generous and loving throughout. This Ten of Cups isn't something that is out there in the distance. This is something you're living, you're building towards. And this collectivity is a process that is reliable, but it is unpredictable. When you're combining your energies with others and you're really allowing that collective to guide itself, to create itself, a community of co-creators, there's no telling where it will end or where it can go. But the process of working collectively is surefire. That's always there. So that conclusions reached, ideas generated are ones that have buy-in. And you are some kind of a leader in the community that you have been existing in. That for some of you is your job. For some of you, this is where you live, your neighborhood. It can be your family. So I'm going to clarify the Ten of Wands here in the present with a couple of cards. I pulled the Queen of Cups, lovely Queen of Cups, and the Sun card. This is lovely, lovely. So the Ten of Wands is making space, this energy of dropping all this burden, all this exhausting weight that you carry. And for some of you, it feels like the weight of the world, that you're always willing to step up and do your part in. This is actually yielding to, instead of concerning yourself with all there is to do, taking care of yourself. What a difference. Putting your attention on what you need. Treating yourself. How about that? Taking a little vacation, taking a walk, going to the beach, doing things that allow you to dream into your inner child. And this is absolutely, for many of you, pulling you back into the place of what was, at least in part, a magical childhood. There is a whole series of experiences that you may have had in some point in your childhood where you were able to see things others couldn't see, where you were able to uh, look over your environment and understand the people in your family, if in some cases, what your relationship was to them. The place where you chose these people. You may have been in other lifetimes with them, in other roles, but this clear sense that these were your people, for better or worse, and that you actually had choice in that. And something here is about going back to that place, going back to the pleasures that you enjoyed as a young person. And it isn't necessarily childhood. It's just a time when many of us are wide open and haven't learned that these are things not to do, not to say. It's interesting, though. I do believe for a lot of you, as you experience these other beings, other environments, other information, other forms, you knew that you couldn't talk about it if you were literate. For many of you, many of these experiences happened before you were really talking or able to articulate them. But there is a knowledge that all of these people out here don't get this. They don't really understand this. They don't want to understand it, and they don't want to hear it. So I'm telling you a little bit about me here. But yeah, caring for self, nurturing that inner child, giving yourself the things not only that you enjoy, but that feed you, that relax you, that allow you to dream and drift and flow. And the Fool. I'm going to clarify with a couple of cards. And I have the Seven of Wands and the Four of Swords. Yeah, interesting. So as you're transitioning into this conscious state of freedom, of liberation, of complete faith in your heart, in your creative will, in your aspiration to explore the world, to explore the possibilities that exist for you in ways that didn't seem possible before because of all the baggage that you were carrying. You are aware that you must continue to discern what distractions are actually taking from your energy. Because I see you as one would a child, consuming large amounts of energy in order to simply exist, to play, to enjoy, to be cared for. And I think you're moving at a time where you are consciously protecting your energy. And I think it's interesting, that slip of the tongue, projecting your energy as a child. I think this is talking about the impact you're having on others, the relaxation from a former role or persona that was responsible and took care of business and ran things and was in control of life and was independent and didn't need anybody. Some of that will apply to some of you, but the attitude that of sternness, you're really relaxing that now. And in relaxing that, you're having an impact on others as you say no, as you say, this isn't for me, without the need to justify it or explain it, understanding for you that you have things to do, you have important things to do. And that doesn't need to be justified in a way that may feel new, may feel uncomfortable, but you're very careful to protect the space you're in. And you're moving that forward. This is something you're going to keep with you for a while. But you continue with the Four of Swords to stay in this place of deep contemplation, deep meditation. You're not releasing this energy. As the Hermit energy has shown us, you're aware now of patterns, behaviors, experiences that have clung to you, that have stayed with you, that have imprinted on you in a way that has worked against your liberation. But necessarily so. You had to understand what you were working with, what you were working against. And I think for a lot of you, there has been a tremendous amount of expectation and pressure put upon you in life, so that you may be in a place where you can hold that and recognize that that is something you don't have to choose. You certainly don't have to choose negative behaviors and patterns that you recognize don't serve you. They may have appeared to serve others, but that's doubtful too. And so here I'm picking up a lot of just codependent patterns, addictions, and codependency plays into the addictions of yourself or others in ways that we didn't know when we were a child, that we were enabling someone in ways that felt like we were earning the love. That if we did this job, if we took care of this person, if we helped this person, we would be loved and valued, at least for that. So for many of you, I feel like this is something that's coming up more and more as you relax more and more into your divine child, inner child nature. This place of you that has value unconditionally, is deserving of love unconditionally just because you're here. And this idea that, wow, I'm still working on that sense that I'm enough. I'm not too old, I'm not too young, I'm not too educated, I'm not too uneducated, I'm not too pretty, I'm not too ugly, I'm not too cute. All the ways that we limit ourselves and actually compare ourselves with others who have nothing to do with us. So I do feel like I'm going to pull another card from this deck. And I pull the Emperor, and there's something behind it. The Lovers. Wow. I'm thinking about this. And I'm really thinking about the way that in relationship or beyond relationship, in a new opportunity or releasing an old opportunity. You are choosing yourself. You are taking full responsibility for what you can do for your own managing your own emotions. This is a sign of incredible maturity, being able to recognize long-term benefit for you and others in any opportunity, in any relationship. And I don't mean that in the sense of manipulating or using others, but I do mean it in the sense of recognizing the value of a deep connection that can help you as you can help build something beyond yourselves, build something that contributes to your community, your family, to the world, something that you can put out there, a way that you can be of assistance that you take for granted for many of you. The sense of, for many of you that have been in so much control or desiring so much control over your life, to be responsible, to not have to depend on anybody, that actually has engendered some skills that are valuable to other people. As you've released the desire to control anything outside of yourself, the recognition that you have no control over what others do, what happens in the world, life's. But other people are assisted by your composure, your experience, your strategic navigation of difficulties. And you may be at some kind of a crossroads in that regard, because we started with you in community. And so there are always a lot of choices to make when we are in community with other beings. And that includes the beings in your garden, in your city park, on your block, the beings in your house. Many of you are sensitized to layers and layers of experience from other timelines. I'm still feeling like I want to close out. I cut the deck at the imagination. One of my favorite cards. This is emphasizing the possibilities that exist for you as you learn to flow and let go of your inner nature, your faith, your belief, your creativity, your playfulness, your joy in being alive, and all the ways that that can be recreated for the benefit of yourself and others. So I'm going to leave it here. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for this reading, and until next time, namaste.